Welcome back to another part. This is a continuation of the last one where we are set dressing our level. So in this one, we're going to be laying out some IVs so that it looks quite abandoned. So let's actually get into Unreal Engine. Another thing we're going to do is also mess with some of the textures so they look quite abandoned. Textures of foliage to add some wind animations as well. So in this one, we're going to finalize most of our assets so that they all look ready to be rendered later on. Now, first of all, let's actually go into our Megascans and 3D plants, and you'll see Broom Creeper over here. For this one, we're not going to be painting much, but we're going to lay out some big details first. So even with the small detail like a Broom Creeper, we're still going to use the 3-stage detailing just for that one type of plant. So bigger silhouettes. Let's maybe bring this in. Let's see how this looks. This is quite good for the edges like this around here. So I want to place it around there like that maybe. And you can rotate this around to fit in a little bit more and see how this looks. This looks quite alright, but I think the textures will need to tweak a lot more. So let's bring this back around like that. And that generally looks okay. So here to tweak this texture, let's go into our material instance over here. And we have color overlay over there. So let's just click on this window for now. And then let's press G so that it hides. With a overlay intensity and color overlay over here, what we want to do is make it a little bit more towards the green or the yellow side. Like so. And increase the overlay intensity. Maybe translucency strength, we can tone it down a bit. And for our roughness, we can make it a little bit more wet. I think that looks alright. Now we're going to scatter these across our building. So let's put this down around here. Rotate this. And maybe even scale it up like that. Place it behind the roof like this. Is poking out of the roof, so local axis is better for these type of assets, so change it to local axis thing, and that looks quite alright. Maybe by the window like this might be nicer. Actually, not really. Maybe around the corners. Yeah, the corners might be a lot nicer. Oh, one thing I forgot to do is group these into props and buildings. And we have the Broom Creeper, which we're going to group it into IVs. And now we have some more assets around here that we can use. Let's place it down and see how they look first. Looks quite nice, so we're gonna place it around here like that. And let's find another one that we might like around maybe this one. Rotate this, bring it up. Looks quite good. I want some wall creepers around here like so. Rotate this, bring it up. Right now they might look a little bit weird. It's because we haven't turned on Nanite yet. So let's right click Nanite and enable Nanite. And one thing you can do is we can go to asset actions and we can where's the bulk edit? Oh, edit selection in property matrix, and we select we go to Nanite settings over here, and then we can preserve area by just clicking on one button, and it will save for every asset. I forgot to mention about that while we were doing our tree, so that is something that you can learn for the next one. And in Broom Creeper, let's actually make this a little bit darker, actually. It's better to look at. So we also have some roots and stuff around here, so we can try to place it like this. You see this root thing that looks quite good, so maybe we want somewhere around in the corner like this, and then we can scale this up like that. It looks quite good. And we also have some roots, so which we can place around the corners like these. And we can place more IVs on the roof as well. This. And then we can have it smaller up top. Group up top. Rotate this. Bring it up. Bring it down. Around here. Nice. And then we have this string of IV, which we're gonna put it up here like that. And we have a few more that we can put down until we can call it a day. Let's make this a little smaller here, just like that. And that is looking quite good, actually. And I want to scatter more around here, so let's make this bigger. Rotate this around. Rotate this around too. Bring it up. Maybe even smaller. Rotate this a bit. Down. Corner. To line this up. And I think that should look quite. Maybe even a little bit more upwards. That, and then bring it back down. Like that. It's quite nice. And we can have more stuff until you're satisfied with it. So just go nuts when it comes to these stuff, because again, like I said in the last part, there is no right or wrong in detailing. Put it back here like this. We can duplicate this, make this bigger, rotate this a bit like that, and that is looking quite good. Now I want to place some stuff around here, so maybe this string, oh, I placed it all the way back there. And we can rotate this around, place it right around here, like that. And we can grow some IVs from the bottom as well, if you would. Rotate this around like this. Then you can bring this down. Quite nice, and you can even stretch this out to your heart's content. Duplicate this, even make this over here, that, and that is looking quite good. And maybe we use this rotate this around. Goes up, rotate this. That is too big right now, so make this a little bit smaller. Bring it up, rotate this around so it makes sense. That's nice. Okay, so again, you can go nuts with the details as much as you want, but I think I'm quite satisfied with it. Although I do want just a little bit more over here, so let me just place down one over here, make it a little bit bigger, rotate this around, rotate this, place it around here like that. I think that looks good. Okay, now this is looking quite good already. Let's move on away from the light now. Sorry, away from the church now. Let's bring this to IVs. Now maybe we can scatter something on here as well. So let's put down one string of ivy over here, bring it up, rotate this to there like that. And that is looking quite good. Maybe around here as well. So something that can cover a bit, maybe the roots might be nice. Maybe we don't add any IVs to this card. That is okay. Now what we're going to do is in Quicksilbridge, we're going to download some rocks that we might need. So let's search for rock. And we do have a couple of rocks, but I want something that is a ground scan that we can just plop down on our ground. So maybe we'll search for ground. Something like the roots might do. So you can download this if you haven't downloaded it, and I'll just export it because I've already downloaded it. And I have this mossy forest ground over here. We're just going to use one because we don't want to overpopulate our GPU usage as well. So let's put it down like this. And I generally like to layer up my ground with some static mesh to give a bit more detail. So that is something that I like to do a lot, and I think it's a really good idea to do that as well. If you have enough VRAM to spare, enough performance to spare as well. So it is giving us a bit more details into the ground. Now let's just download one rock that we're going to use across our forest. Something that we can rotate and have different variation. So maybe something like this might do. So let's actually click on download. And we're downloading high quality. If you want, if you don't have enough VRAM, you can download medium quality as well. So let's add this, and we have a Nordic forest rock over here. So this one we're gonna call it, make a group and then call it roots. And we're gonna plop down this rock over here. Make this a little bit smaller. And we can place it somewhere around at the back, maybe around here, a little bit bigger maybe. Oh. Rotate this, rotate down. That is quite good. Okay, so I think we have done most of our set dressing. Now we can finally delete our mannequin. This broom creeper should go into IV, This one we'll call it a rock group. Oh, we can just call it rocks. Now I think we have done most of our set dressing. I think this is looking quite good. If you want to go more in depth with detailing, please feel free to, because I don't want to take too much of your time in explaining all about detailing, because again, it is a very broad process where you can do whatever you want, and whatever you want to put in, you can put in, but try to make sense out of the entire thing. So I just realized this tree is clipping a little bit, so let's just go back into our foliage and let's select this, rotate this a little, and that should be fine. Now if you don't like your lighting, you still change how it looks. So I want to try test out our directional light and see what other looks that we can get before we get into adding more cameras to our scene. I think this is looking quite good. I'm gonna use this lighting, or maybe even change up a little bit more. Again, this is something that you can play with until you like something. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as this right now. So let's change some of the textures of our foliage. Let's go into let's go into our 3D plants and search for grass clumps, and open up our material instance. Now we have our overlay color and overlay intensity again. So maybe we can change this color overlay to something a little bit more darker, like that, a little bit more yellow. Quite good. And we can change our color variation too. As you can see, it is giving us variation into our grass, and that is something that we want for our grass, because right now it looks too even. So, but don't overdo it, because there's going to be different colors added in, so just a tad would do the job. Save this. Now as for the grass clumps, we don't really need wind yet, because they're too small to even notice, so we don't really need wind. But let's go into our wild grass and change our wild grass as well. So let's tone our wild grass color into something a little bit yellow, something a little bit darker, like that. And we can change our overlay intensity to however we want, and then change our color variation just a smidge. Now we can see the wild grass over here, and we can turn on enable grass wind to add wind to our grass. But this is too much right now, so let's tone down our wind intensity to 0.02. That looks quite good, so I'm going to save it and then go to the next one. We have some elderberries over here. So in material instance, we're not going to change any of the colors over there. Maybe we can change our color variation so that it looks quite different from one another, just a tad again. And then we're going to enable grass wind again. So to visualize this, let's go check out our elderberries over here. Now this is a little too much again, so 0.05 maybe, and that should do the trick. Now what else do we need to change the wind for? Maybe lady ferns. Now the lady ferns are too bright right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to tone down our color overlay and tone it down just like that. And we can change our roughness so it's a little bit more wet like this, and then we can enable grass wind again, and we can see our ferns around here to check out how much wind do we need. So 0.02 for fern might be good, and I think that's pretty much it. We can change the wind of our trees as well if you want. In order to do that, let's actually, so to tweak the wind for your trees, what you're going to do is go to your content browser and search for MS presets. And in here, what we're going to do is in filters, we're going to turn on our blueprint and blueprint class, and just click on blueprint class, and you'll see this little icon that says BP Global Foliage Actor UE5. Now we're going to plop this down into our level like this, and then put it in our landscape folder. Now this direction, this arrow is telling where the wind is blowing. So for instance, if I were to change our wind strength to about 10, you can see it being affected. And we can change our direction of the wind like so. And we can tone down our wind strength over here. We're going to leave it about 5. So we have some movement. And I think the noise is a bit too much. So let's change it to about 2. And we can also change the wind speed to like 10. That's going to shake the tree a lot. But I think I want it a little bit subtle. One thing we could even do is also we can change our season strength. So if you change the season strength to too high, you'll get this yellow look. If you actually like it, then you can keep it that way. But I'm just going to tweak it just a little bit so we have some yellow. And we have our brightness and saturation of our trees over here as well. We can saturate these again as well, and I think I like how this is looking as well. And we can change our health to minus, and it will give you some reds, and you can really art direct however you want in order to get the look that you actually want. I think I'm gonna keep it around here, and maybe season strength, tone it down back a little. I think I'm gonna keep it green. So this is a very cool tool to use with Megascan trees, and I think this is looking really good already. So in the next part, we're gonna add more cinematic cameras to tell a story about this entire scene, and after that we're gonna animate in sequencer, and we're almost done here, guys, and really excited to finish this off. So I will see you guys in the next one.